I am so excited to hear our next speaker because Adam Williams is a person who shows you how to transform your life. He's using principles that have been designed and been around for a long time. And he is now showing us that. He lives in Amsterdam, as I mentioned, American football player, and he's doing this one person at a time. Your life can change when you know what to do, and Adam Williams is a person that can show you how to do it. Join me in welcoming him now, Adam Williams.
Morning, guys. You hear me okay? Okay. Fantastic to be back here at Anarchapulco. We're going to be exploring a bunch of different things this morning. We're going to be talking about the journey from the head consciousness, where all the statism and all the debates and arguments are, to the heart consciousness, right? That experiential states of being. So first thing we're going to do is a little participation exercise. You guys are willing to participate with me? Yeah. All right, great. Can I have everyone please stand? All right. So the first thing that we need to do to open our heart is breathe. Any scuba divers in the room? Anybody scuba divers? I remember when I first learned scuba diving, the teacher said, if you stop breathing underwater, the best thing that can happen is you die, okay? So first we're going to take a deep breath in, and we're going to raise our hands above our head, and then we're going to put them down and make whatever noise you want, all right? Breathe in. And then out. One more time, breathe in, and now out. All right, now, last thing before you can sit down, I want you guys to each turn to either your left or right, or front or back. Find someone you don't know yet, that's in your immediate area, introduce yourself, and then you can sit down. All right, thank you. So we can start the slides. There we go. All right, thank you guys. Fantastic. Can we put the slides up? Oh, right there. Slides are up. Perfect. Cool. Fantastic, guys. All right, so my speech is called What Brings Courage. I always speak about a different virtue from my Liberty speeches. Ron Paul spoke about virtues last night and the importance of pursuing virtue and living a virtuous life. In my opinion, the battle between vices and virtues is the game that we're here to play. Okay, vices are something that offer a quick fix of pleasure, whereas virtues are time-tested strategies for living a healthy, fulfilled life. So I was very lucky to meet Dr. Maya Angelou before she passed away. Here's a great quote from her. Courage is the most important of all the virtues because without courage, you can't practice any other virtue consistently. You can practice any virtue erratically, but nothing consistently without courage. So she was an amazing woman. I was able to be invited to a private talk that she gave when I was in high school down in San Antonio. And I just remember us all, 30 people or so, just listening to her and her amazing wisdom. That's my father. He's a really important person in my life, very courageous man. I was born in Indiana, in Indianapolis. It's amazing. There's a lot of Liberty people born in Indiana. Who's born in Indiana here? Yeah, there's a bunch. I lived there till I was 7. My father modeled for me corporate success. He started out working for Royal Foods, a food company, and then he learned about cable television. So this is before the internet, and he had an amazing career running cable systems, moved us all over the country. When I was 17 years old, I had 17 addresses, lived in Indiana for 7 years, and 18 months in San Antonio, Texas, 2.5 years in Westchester, Pennsylvania, a year in Bridgewater, New Jersey, 2 years in Huntington Beach, California for 6th and 7th grade, 8th grade in high school in San Antonio, Texas. I went to Rice University in Houston for 4 years, 9 years in Manhattan, 7 years in the Upper East Side, Stamford, Connecticut, and the last 2 years in Amsterdam. I've been in 35 countries in my life, all just personal travel for the most part, not work travel where you only get to see Athens for an hour at night. And now I've now lived in 4 countries, lived in France twice and lived in Australia twice. So I've been very fortunate to see a lot of the world, meet a huge amount of people. I love connecting with people. How many of the people here in the room have I actually talked to you directly at some point? Yeah, that's like half. It's great. So yeah, I really enjoy being able to connect with people and move these things forward. All right. So started working on Wall Street after I graduated from Rice University. That was 99, 2000 when I graduated from Rice. This is actually, who knows which European country has a small island called Formentera? Which European country is that? Spain, exactly. This is Ibiza trip number 1, 2001. Just a fantastic trip. Did these all the time, traveling around the world, enjoying things with my friends. That's one of the biggest things I used my Wall Street money on was travel and to be able to go and experience different things and see the world. Who remembers where this statue used to be? Where was that statue? World Trade Center. So I was at 9/11. I was inside the building 90 minutes before it was destroyed. I worked at the World Financial Center at the time. Every morning I would take the train down to Fulton Street and walk across from Fulton Street over to the World Financial Center. Sometimes I'd walk above ground when it was nice, or I'd walk underneath. That day I remember I walked underneath, and that's where the bombs were that helped destroy the building. So fortunately I wasn't late to work that day. I talked more about this experience last year. I'll just touch on it briefly here. But came downstairs after our morning meeting and our little game that we would play as traders to get ourselves ready for the day. And came out and saw a lot of smoke. The first plane had just hit the building. We went outside to go down and see what was happening just by the Winter Garden there in the World Financial Center, maybe 300 meters away from the building on fire. So I was one of the few people to see 9/11 with my own eyes before we knew what was happening. And it was a very strange feeling. Everyone just trying to understand. This is before internet on phones. We didn't have that at that time, so couldn't look to see what people were saying. Some people thought maybe it was a bomb, maybe it was a small plane, just didn't know. I actually went back inside the building, the World Financial Center, before the second plane hit, and I was at the top of the escalator when the second explosion happened. And I never saw more fear and panic in my life than that moment. People ran back in the building, just absolutely screaming, crazy. So I was there for the beginning of the really acceleration of the police state that we're all been trapped in. I'm a huge believer in personal development. Tony Robbins was the first person that I studied, maybe around 2004. Personally spent over $100,000 on courses, trainings, mentors, relationship therapy, you name it, over the course of my career. Just in the first 10 years, I became a millionaire when I was 31. So, I made like $5 million in the first 10 years. So I think personal development is a great investment for a great reward. Tony Robbins says here, one reason so few of us achieve what we truly want is that we never direct our focus. We never concentrate our power. Most people dabble their way through life, never deciding to master anything in particular. So we have to muster our courage to make decisions, to take action. Anyone been to the Hamptons in the New York City area? Who's been to the Hamptons? Only a few people. Cool. So this is a National Golf Club, very exclusive golf club there in not too far from Manhattan. So take a look at the picture. Don't yell this one out. Which man do you think is the richest man in the picture? Just look at the picture, take a guess, and see which one you think. All right. Now, how many people picked that guy? Okay, a couple. All right. So that's Steve Mitchell, guy in the middle. He's one of the best lacrosse players ever. He's worth $100 million probably at that time. This is Jeffrey's convertible bond trading in 2009. So this was the apex of my time as a trader. I had been trading equity derivatives for 3 years, and did convertible bonds after that. Basically, every picture in my life looks like this. The only black guy there, kind of the same as here. Growing up in the cities where I was, and being in honors classes, and our parents pushing for us to experience whatever we could and not have any limitations. It's just how that happened to work out. So, these guys are all statists. This is all statist people working on Wall Street. And most of the guys here didn't understand these principles. I didn't understand these at the time either. Total statist, believing in government, that government was a force to help minority rights and things like that, things that I had been indoctrinated with as a child. This was my house in North Stamford, Connecticut. When I started doing Tony Robbins, the first thing I wanted to create was a log cabin house. And so created that house. It was 5 bedrooms, 1.3 acres. That was my dream, and that was what I was focused on doing, acquiring stuff and having things and nice cars and all that, because that was what I was just really focused on at the time. Anyone know who this guy is? Oh, his name's up there. That's James Altucher. Okay, who knows who James Altucher is? Great. You probably see him right now on this banner ads on Zero Hedge, or the Bitcoin expert, right? So he's a really interesting man. He says on his podcast, don't even try to get a meeting with me because I'm too busy. But I was able to meet with him. He was on his way to actually, the way that happened is I was in New York at the moment, and he was on his way to speak to a group of black people on his talk, and I happened to message him like, hey, can we get together? He's like, yeah, come, and he tested out his jokes. Anyway, so every time you say yes to something you don't want to do, this will happen. You will resent people, you will do a bad job, you will have less money for the things you were doing a good job on, you will make less money, and yet another small percentage of your life will be burned up, a smoke signal to the future saying, I did it again. All right? So I really respect this man because he's really honest. He was an early investor in hedge funds and media, different things, created a net worth of like $40 million and then destroyed it all. He had a belief in his mind that if he wasn't worth $100 million, he was nobody. And because that belief was there, he ended up destroying all of it. It was negative. But wrote about it and has inspired a lot of people. Top 10 business book, Choose Yourself. So I've been very fortunate to be able to connect with many people who've inspired large numbers of people. So who heard Clive filling in for Mr. Canton? That was a great presentation. I did a great job. So one of the things that Clive mentioned was that we have to take our health back. We have to take responsibility for our own health to be strong and powerful so that we can move these things forward, so that we can debate status, so that we can appreciate status, so that we can create this voluntary reality. So while I was in New York City for 4 months last year, I happened to stay at a Korean spa for a little bit, and they had this machine. Now, when I moved to the Netherlands 2 years ago, I really put a big focus on my health and getting myself back in shape and strong so that I could, transition from the burnout after 16 years on Wall Street. So this was really a nice surprise because I hadn't been to the doctor in a long time, not taking any medications or pills, non-GMO food in the Netherlands, so healthy. The food is so much nicer there than in America, better price, and just being, a lot of exercise. So this machine at this South Korean spa was really impressive, and this was my results. So this A here was body composition. So I did 98 out of 100. Number B was energy, 100 out of 100. Can't even measure it, which people always say I have the most energy. C was immune system, 99 out of 100. I'd actually had a little cannabis before. D was brain function, so this thing actually works. And then overall 98. That would also explain the low pulse. So this was someone else, the next person, some other guy. So this was another person. They actually gasped when they saw my numbers. So what I've decided to do to prioritize health and strength and keeping myself in a high vibration is working. All right. So there's a great quote here by Kevin Hall, the author of Aspire. Your gifts are not about you. Leadership is not about you. Your purpose is not about you. A life of significance is about serving those who need your gifts, your leadership, your purpose. So that's my role now. That's what I've transitioned to doing as I decided deliberately to leave Wall Street. Some of my friends are still there, still in Manhattan, still paying crazy amounts of money to live in that area, pay taxes in Westchester for jobs that are contracting as technology takes over. And I just decided to leave and to serve and to figure out how I could help other people. So the Avatar course is what's really I'm really passionate about. It's an amazing course, been around for 30 years. We had a bunch of people for an info hour on Wednesday, which was fantastic. I'm going to read you the first page of the new book, Avatar Legacy, because everyone's always like, well, what is the Avatar course? All right. The Avatar course is a 9-day self-evolvement course based on principles of consciousness defined and described by Harry Palmer. The Avatar course produces profound increases in self-awareness. This allows graduates to make changes, sometimes sweeping changes in their lives. These changes are self-determined and not the result of influences or persuasions by the teacher. In fact, Avatar masters are discouraged from passing their own beliefs to students. Since its introduction in 1987, Avatar has experienced explosive world growth. As of January 1st, 2017, 32,000 Avatar masters are licensed to deliver the course, and more than 124,000 people have participated in Avatar courses scattered in 153 countries around the globe. The Avatar materials are currently available in 24 languages. These numbers continue to grow. Avatar, properly presented, is the most powerful, purest self-development program available at any price. All right. So that's me at the course. Just in January with some of my students, I mastered some children for the first time, which was such an amazing gift. I haven't been around children in 20 years. Like, there's just been no children in my life. I don't have children and don't hang out with little kids. So this was just really magic. And this is a place where there's non-judgment, there's compassion, there's appreciation, and there's a place where people can be real and can be honest and can face what's going on in their lives, face their fears, and heal themselves. As you guys know, the death care system in America is killing 100 people a day with these opioids and with what's happening with these chemicals and everything out there. And why is that? It's because people are not facing their feelings. They're trying to cover it up. Here's a quick little read on indoctrination, which is a big topic for this group, of course. So indoctrination. Indoctrination is practiced widely under the guise of education. It literally means to fill with doctrine or belief. Association of rewards and punishments with learning and repetitive drilling under stressful conditions are common forms of indoctrination. Indoctrination is really about installing predictable behaviors and opinions in an individual or group to make them manageable. Anytime a doctrine is taught as factual, the intention is that the student assimilates its beliefs and conclusions without testing or question. This is the way it is. Initially, indoctrination may be useful. It is certainly faster than waiting for every individual to consider all the data and make a decision. However, as generations pass, indoctrination ceased to be useful. Unfortunately, indoctrination is self-sustaining. Indoctrination structures the history, customs, and manners of a society, which in a feedback loop give doctrines greater authority even after they have proven useless. Then one day, people wake up and discover that what they are being taught is no longer useful or beneficial. In this moment of awakening, which grows briefer as the world becomes more connected, people either begin down a path that will lead to evolution or revolution. The opposite of indoctrination is awakening a person's ability to consider many different viewpoints on a subject without judgment. A creative study awakens fluid awareness that can observe, organize, and discern subtle relationships between things. Nothing is etched forever in stone. So that's the wizard course that Walt and I just came from. We had another couple wizards over here that just arrived from Daytona Beach. So this is 5,000 people, 6,000 people from 101 countries coming together to work in consciousness. Jews working with Palestinians, working with Iranians together. It's amazing. So now we're going to do the compassion exercise together. You guys ready for the compassion exercise? All right, fantastic. So this is a nonverbal exercise, okay? So this exercise can be done anywhere that people congregate. It should be done on strangers, unobtrusively, from some distance. Try to do all 5 steps on the same person. Expected results are a personal sense of peace. So I want you guys to choose someone in the room, someone preferably that you can see. It can be a friend or a stranger. It can be the person sitting next to you, whoever that you like. All right. So what we're going to do is I want you guys to focus on that transition from the head consciousness to that heart consciousness. All right? Ready to begin? Source beings? Got your person? Step 1, with attention on the person, repeat to yourself, just like me, this person is seeking some happiness for his or her life. Step 2, with attention on the person, repeat to yourself, just like me, this person is trying to avoid suffering in his or her life. With attention on the person, repeat to yourself, just like me, this person has known sadness, loneliness, and despair. With attention on the person, repeat to yourself, just like me, this person is seeking to fulfill his or her needs. And finally, with attention on the person, repeat to yourself, just like me, this person is learning about life. All right, so this is my contact info and links. Appreciate your time and you guys doing the exercise with me. Facebook's here, Instagram and Twitter, Telegram, Discord, and Steam. You can take a picture of that if you like. My email address. For the Avatar course, in order, you have the website for the course information and where the schedule of courses are. The media website, the bookstore. I recommend the Power Up Plus Pack. It's an amazing set of books. Will really blow your hair back. It blew my hair back. I don't even have hair. The info hour is there. I give my time freely to do info hours with anyone who wants one, who schedules one with me. And then finally, the results. There's over 500,000 letters that the course has received in 30 years from students. My blockchain project, really quickly in the last couple minutes, I just became Director of Rewards for Bitcoin Latina, which is a new Ethereum forked project that is coming online just right now. Many of you in the room would probably know Stan Larimer from BitShares, so he's directly involved with our project. It's a bit more minarchist project than an anarchist one. The goal is to become the blockchain for Latin America, support in Spanish, support in Portuguese, and the goal is to go into the universities and create an entire wave of people using blockchain here in Latin America. And under construction is my new website, which will be up really soon, so you can keep up with all the stuff that I'm doing. So thank you very much. We have a couple minutes for questions. I think we have a couple minutes for questions. I got a couple goodies here. So I have 3 coupons for March resurfacing for anyone who wants to come to Orlando and try something new and have an amazing experience. So these are 20% off resurfacing, which is Section 1. Section 1 is $295. That's the first 2 days of the course where you get to just resurfacing refers to the act of smoothing something out, looking at really who you are. And it's just a really mind-blowing process. Section 2 is about 5 days, and that's the exercises. That's where you learn how to start to adjust and create beliefs, again, self-directed. And Section 3 is 2 days, it's 1,500. That's where you have your initiation. For me, my avatar initiation was one of the top non-physical experiences ever in my life. I also have 150 compassion cards, 100 compassion cards left, so just I'll be outside at the break, and I'll be at the vegan place for lunch, and I have some What is Avatar booklets there. So for anyone who wants more information, just stop me and you're all set. Okay? Thank you guys so much.
There was an idea
to bring together a group of remarkable people
to see if we could become something more.
So when they needed us, we could fight the battles
that they never could.
In time, the state will know what it's like to lose. To feel so desperately that it's right, yet to fail all the same. Dread it. Run from it. Freedom still arrives.
Vacate the state. Engage all the speakers and get this man a microphone.
Fun isn't something that one considers when eradicating tyranny. But this does put a smile on my face.
Who the hell are you guys?